Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about intimacy, and it's kind of a strange word, isn't it? Like we were going back and forth, like intimacy, romance, sex. So
which are
what,
three,
what
right?
comes
Three
to
of the
your
things
mind?
we're going to talk about. I think men often lump all three of those together.
Sex.
With intimacy, with romance. Like, what do you mean? It's just about sex, right? But I think as I dug into it, and it took communicating that stuff, which I would say in all of these subjects, communication is key, and you got to learn how to communicate as well. But sometimes you got to really think about it. Like, don't just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind, because that's probably what the first thing came to most men's mind. And when that came up was intimacy means sex.
It
But for
doesn't,
me,
man.
no, it doesn't. Well, it doesn't even to me. And now that I've really thought about it, I think intimacy is very deep, and I want my wife's attention. Whenever we're talking, or when we're going even on a walk, she might be thinking about something totally different, and I'll ask her a question, and she'll, oh, what were you saying? So I think that's when we have to say, okay, let's focus on each other right now. I just want you to hear what I'm saying, and I think men are much worse at communicating these things, but also women have a million things on their mind at one time, and we don't understand that either. We're very one-track minded, very focused on one thing at a time. So we separate a few things, but what I've learned is I have to really think about it, and I have to think, okay, what am I missing here? Like, why am I not feeling this intimacy with my wife? And I think sometimes it's, hey, honey, could you put your phone down for a second? And I mean, she lives and dies by that stuff because it's part of her life. But when I want her attention, I want undivided attention. So that's tough. Look at her smart.
Die by it. I'm getting better. I took all social media apps off my phone. That was a very big step.
Yeah.
But I would say too, if a wife is zoning out all the time, there's something missing intimately. And because I would say, like, when we're in a good space, sex can be very intimate. But when we're not, and I'm not feeling seen by you and heard by you, I am more apt to zone you out. So it's a two-way street, I think. Like,
absolutely,
communicate with me, and I'll communicate with you, but it's just communication, really. And my problem has been more learning to probably control my knee-jerk reactions, because I'm very much, if I'm feeling something, it's gonna come out, and sometimes it's like vomit a little bit. Whereas you're more like, I'm not going to talk about it.
I'm not going to talk about it. It's going to build up, and it's going to build up, and it's going to turn into a fight.
Because then I'm going to vomit.
Yes.
And spew.
And I'm going to defend myself at all costs. And my walls are going to go up, and her walls are going to go up. And then the communication barrier is up, and it's not going to happen. So it's time to take a deep breath and think about what you're going to say. That's why I said I think intimacy is a challenge for men to understand, because we've been brought up thinking one way, or at least I have. Again, we're not experts, and I don't know if all men feel that way. I can only speak for myself, but I think you got to really focus on what are your needs? Like, what are you missing? And again, talk to your wife and say, you don't want to listen to me right now. Okay, what am I doing? I don't have your attention, and I've done something, I'm sure. And we as men often ask that question, what did I do? Like, I don't even know. And I think women understand that. We probably don't know. We probably didn't realize we said the wrong thing,
but there's a disconnect somewhere.
Absolutely.
And I would say even being vulnerable in a relationship, because we talk about that in one chapter about, I have a fear of going to the doctor, just with my history with Luke and with my late husband Jason, and I equate going to the doctor with, you get bad news and then you die. And even after I had Annabelle, I put off my appointment for like 4 years, and finally realized I couldn't put it off any longer, and vulnerably asked Ryan if he would accompany me to go to the doctor, knowing that it would put his whole day on hold. But I was like near having a panic attack, because again, in my mind, you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you you're gonna die. And just opening myself up vulnerably to my husband, which is very, very difficult for me, and him saying, yes, of course, I'll set aside my day, I'll come to the doctor with you, and everything was fine. But
I think what you don't realize is I need you I need you to need that from me.
I realize that now, 12 years later.
And I think,
yeah.
you know, I want to be her protector. I want to be her strength, her rock. Like, I need that too. I need that to feel confident about myself and that she needs me for certain things. She's a confident woman and she's powerful. And sometimes, you guys all know that. She may not understand
Anyway.
that. But yes, I think I need to hear that from her. And I want to be there for her. And yeah, I do have to take some time off, but it's worth it, you know, to be that for her.
Yeah, and we've had that discussion too, where you said to me, I don't feel like you need me.
Yeah,
and I've
right.
said, well, like, I could survive without you, but I want you. So that's a bit of a, I don't know if it's a disconnect or like a difference. Like, I want you, but I don't need you for survival. And
Right.
I don't, is that hard to hear as a man?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I suppose. I mean, it is. It's a challenge to hear that, to think you don't need me. I mean, I think, but
Well,
when it comes down to
survive, like I can feed myself.
it. Yes, and I think as, you know, we've been married now for 11 years, so I think in the beginning that was very challenging for me to understand. But as I've grown with you and know more about you, I know you're a survivor, and so am I. But I also know that we have different gifts, and
Right.
we thrive together when we're both feeling good. So if we're both encouraging one another, my gifts only make her gifts better, and vice versa.
I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah,
Like, that's, you know, intimacy, I think, is primarily communicating,
absolutely.
because you cannot grow intimate with anybody in your life if you're not having open communication with one another. So start there and let us know how it's going.
Right. If it turns
And-
into a fight, take a deep breath, think about it, and then try again later.
Sounds good. We will see you back here for sex. That's the next topic. We'll see you soon.
All right.